Okay, what is up, everybody? This is your boy Juggernaut 097 bringing you guys another video today. And today we're going to be doing a Juggernaut Retro Review, episode number 10. And on this Juggernaut Retro Review, we are going to be reviewing Slammiversary 2005. Yes, we're going to be doing a little bit of TNA here. I like to still call it TNA, even though they call it Impact Wrestling. And I have the Impact Plus network, so I go like, you know what? Since Slammiversary is around the corner, 2020, I think it's like the 20th anniversary of Impact or something. So I'm just surprised, like, to see how long TNA has gone on for, because you kind of look at TNA like compared to like '05. And then compare it to like right now, it looks like two different companies, like no joke. I mean, like some things when I think about TNA, I think of the X Division, and I also think of a few names like AJ Styles, who helped found that company, Jeff Jarrett, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, like them type of guys who helped build this company. I mean, yeah, TNA has had its ups and downs over these years or so, but I always seem to come back to Impact, even though it does have some of its LOL moments, go like, oh, that's stupid, or like the booking decisions isn't right. But I mean, they do put on, they do have good wrestling shows, but it's just like some of the booking decisions, some of the storylines are weird, and I just don't like them sometimes. Like the writing team doesn't do the greatest. But yeah, we're going to be reviewing Slammiversary 2005, which just was the third anniversary show. But this wasn't the first. This was the first Slammiversary. This wasn't the third Slammiversary, if that makes any sense. But before we get started with this review, go hit that subscribe button if this is your first time ever checking out one of my videos. And smash that like button if you like my videos. And go hit that notification button to be notified every time I make a new video. And while you're at it, go follow me on all my social media platforms at the True JSB for Instagram and Twitter. So go ahead and do that. But yeah, let's quit wasting any time and let's talk about Slammiversary 2005. So let's see here. So before the show even started, they had like a little pre-show. It was showing like, so Raven was like entering the building, and Jeff Jarrett, he was kind of getting heated, and so he took his anger out on a fan. He beat up a fan. So Jeff Jarrett got arrested and got taken out of the King of the Mountain match, which that was the main event, because it had AJ Styles, which was the defending NWA World Heavyweight Champion, versus Monty Brown versus Sean Waltman, aka X-Pac, aka Six, or whatever you want to call him. And then, so it was supposed to be Jeff Jarrett in the match, but they took out him and they added Raven into the match. They just like hyped up Raven so much during this show. Like, oh, Raven has to win. You know it, because the commentary team, the crowd was behind Raven. But yeah, so Raven got thrown into the King of the Mountain match for the main event. But the first match that kicked off the actual show was an X Division 6-way match. It was Shark Boy, Amazing Red, Delirious, Elix Skipper, Jarrell Clark, which I had no idea who that guy was. I never really heard of him, and Zach Gowen. So, Zach Gowen, if that name sounds familiar to you, like, he's been in WWE before. He's known as like the one-legged wrestler, which is really cool. Like, you never really see much of one-legged wrestlers, and he can do so much amazing stuff in the ring. Like, he's an amazing worker. Like, all the stuff he could do, like, you just never see that very much. Amazing Red, he did amazing stuff. Shark Boy, he was all right. The kids liked him. He got over pretty good with the crowd. Elix Skipper, he wasn't bad either. None of these guys really did bad. And Delirious, he's been a part of Ring of Honor before. I've seen him around before this and on other TNA pay-per-views. But a couple gripes I have about this match. Okay, so TNA makes things so complicated. I mean, since it's a 6-way match, okay, you would think that, all guys will be wrestling at the same time, but no. So they had 2 guys start off the match, and then you had to tag in and out, but it wasn't a tag team match. So, but then everything started going into mayhem. Everybody started getting in the ring, and like all hell broke loose. Like they could not keep track of this anymore. Like they couldn't keep track of having the tags in and out. So everybody, they just, did their high flying moves. Everybody got their spots in. I mean, we had a big Tower of Doom during the match. We had a big moonsault by Zach Gallen. I can't remember who that was on. But at the end, Shark Boy did end up getting the victory. I can't remember. He hit like the deep sea dive or something like that. Whatever his finisher. It's like a top rope move and like to a stunner. I would think it was on Delirious, but I might be mistaken. I mean, it was a decent opener, but it wasn't like anything really noteworthy. Like, oh yeah, I definitely have to go back and watch that match. No, it wasn't anything like that. But I mean, it was all right. But yeah, Shark Boy did end up getting the victory. And then the next match we had was Shocker versus Alex Shelley, which Shocker, I never really knew. Like, I seen him on other Impact shows, but like I really never knew who he was. But Alex Shelley, he was a part of the Motor City Machine Guns with Chris Sabin. He's been TNA World Tag Team Champion before. And he's been in various other promotions like Ring of Honor, New Japan. He's been in a various different promotions. So, and I think Alex Shelley is a very underrated wrestler. Like, I like him a lot. Like, he can actually go in the ring. And both these guys, they put on a pretty good match. I mean, the match went about 10 minutes. I mean, it was a kind of a pure wrestling match. I mean, probably one of the best wrestling matches on the show here. But Shocker did end up getting the victory. It was by a submission. Like, I don't know what the submission was, but yeah, it was Shocker who ended up getting the victory. But during the whole match, like they kept saying that Shocker was in a McDonald's commercial before. I'd never seen the commercial, so so that's kind of irrelevant to me. So like, yeah, I mean, why are they talking about him being in a McDonald's commercial? Like, talk about the match. But I mean, the match wasn't bad though. It was a pretty good match. And then the next match we had was Ron the Truth Killings, a.k.a. R-Truth, versus the Outlaw, which is Billy Gunn, or they just call him the Outlaw. That's what they called him here in TNA because, you couldn't take WWE wrestlers' names, because, you don't want to have a big battle going on there. But this match was not good at all. R-Truth did end up getting the victory. I mean, he was a part of the 3 Live crew, which this kind of whole storyline was BG James, which is Road Dogg Jesse James. So he's a part of the 3 Live crew with Conan. I mean, it wasn't a bad storyline. I mean, the storyline kind of drag on for a little while, but I mean, it wasn't bad by any means. But the match wasn't that good. But they thought Road Dogg was kind of, working with Billy Gunn, or, the Outlaw. And, he messaged, who was it? Like, during the promo, I can't remember who it was. Was it DDP? I think it might have been DDP, maybe. I think it was. But yeah, they think that Road Dogg, he's not trustworthy and stuff. So that Ron the Truth Killings, he said that he'll face the Outlaw. So that's kind of what's been going on with this. But like I said, R-Truth did get Ron the Truth Killings did end up getting the victory here. And a kind of mediocre match though. But the next match we had on here was a tag team match for the NWA World Tag Team Championships. We had the Naturals, Andy Douglas and Chase Stevens, which I've seen them many times before on TNA pay-per-views back in this time. And they were defending the titles against Team Canada, Eric Young and P.D. Williams, with A1 Coach D'Amore, Scott D'Amore. It was a pretty decent match. This match went about 15 minutes. I think the most notable thing that happened in this match. Well, during the whole night, the announcers Don Williams, I think that's what his name is. I can't remember. Oh, I know his name is Don. Don and Mike today was basically talking on commentary, going like, "Yeah, who's this guy helping out the Naturals? You know, who's going to be their manager?" And who the manager was? It was Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South. You saw a microphone get tossed into the ring, and I can't remember. I think it was Chase Stevens who hit. I think it was Eric Young with the microphone and got the 1, 2, 3 to retain the tag team championships. And Team Canada was pissed. They were really pissed here. But it wasn't a bad match though. I liked it. And yeah, that's really the most notable thing was that Jimmy Hart was their manager, and I never really seen a whole lot of Jimmy Hart in TNA Impact, so that was pretty cool to see that. But like I said, it wasn't a bad match though. The next match we had was the debut of Samoa Joe, and he was facing Sanjay Dutt. This was basically a glorified squash match. I mean, Sanjay Dutt had a little bit of offense here until, Samoa Joe was, he did his normal moveset. He hit the Uranagi in the corner. He hit the muscle buster, and then he put on the Kokita clutch to get the 1, 2. To get the 1, 2, and he choked him out by the Kokita clutch to beat the playa from the Himalayas, Sanjay Dutt. But like I said, it was just kind of good to get Samoa Joe over, and during the commentary team, they were just hyping up Samoa Joe, saying, "Oh yeah, he hasn't lost. Like he's only lost one match in the past 3 years. Like when he was in Ring of Honor, they talked about him being in New Japan, like being a trainer at the dojo, which was pretty cool. But yeah, they just hyped up Samoa Joe, and that was a really big debut for them. And Samoa Joe is one of the guys who put TNA on the map to what it is today. If they didn't have Samoa Joe, you wouldn't have your great matches like with Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. That would have never happened if Joe wasn't here. So that was cool to see him debut. And then the next match was Bobby Roode with Coach D'Amore versus Lance Hoyt. I don't remember much of this match. I just know that Bobby Roode won the match. I just don't remember much of this match, to be honest with you. But the next match we had was a tag team match. It was America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris and James Storm versus the Three Live Crew, BG James and Conan with Ron the Truth Killings in the corner. So this kind of rivalry. So America's Most Wanted, they kind of been, they haven't been on the same page as of recent, and same with Three Live Crew, because they didn't know if BG James or Road Dogg trusted Conan and Ron the Truth Killings, so they didn't know. So there was kind of dissension in that group a little bit. But this was an alright match, kind of to see which team is more doesn't get along more. But America's Most Wanted did end up getting the victory here, and it's kind of a short little match. The match went about 7 minutes, not very long, but it wasn't a bad match by any means though. And a lot of these matches on here, they were decent, but they weren't like anything to go crazy about. But the next match we had on here was a 3-way elimination match for the TNA X Division Championship. We had Christopher Daniels defending the title against Chris Sabin versus Michael Shane, which I didn't know who Michael Shane was. I know who Christopher Daniels and Chris Sabin are, which this was a really good match. So I know first off, Michael Shane got eliminated. And also, Tracy was in the corner of Michael Shane, and Trinity was in the corner of Chris Sabin. You saw them kind of get involved a little bit in the match, try to break up pinfalls. So you saw them, Tracy and Trinity, fight during the match. They kind of got in a little brawl. Because originally Tracy was with Chris Sabin, and Tracy turned on Chris Sabin to go with Michael Shane, and Trinity. Wait, that's that right? Because Chris Sabin had Trinity, and then Trinity went with Chris Sabin. This was kind of a confusing rivalry here a little bit, and I don't know how Christopher Daniels really fit into this rivalry, but I mean, it was an alright match. I mean, so first off, Michael Shane was eliminated, and then it came down to Chris Sabin and Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels, he did the Angel's Wing to Trinity, could kind of take her out of the picture so she wouldn't be interrupting the match anymore. So that was good by Christopher Daniels. But it was a good match between them. They went back and forth. But yeah, Christopher Daniels did end up retaining his X Division Championship. I think he did hit the Angel Wings to retain the title here. But it wasn't a bad match by... It was a pretty good match. This match went about 17 minutes, and it was a better out of your X Division matches. Like the earlier X Division match was kind of more for your undercard, and this was more of your like higher, better X Division wrestlers, in my opinion. But yeah, it was a good match though. Probably, I'll say maybe the second best match of the night, and then. The next match we had was a King of the Mountain match for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Which, okay, so back at this time, they were still with the NWA and whatnot, and then towards later on down the road they would kind of get separated from NWA. But it was AJ Styles, which was the NWA World Champion, defending the title against Abyss, Monty Brown, Sean Waltman, which is X-Pac or Six, and Raven, which he just got added into the match earlier in the night. So if you guys never seen a King of the Mountain match, so here's what happens, okay? So they have this cage outside the ring, and in order to hang the title belt, so you have to hang the title belt to win the match. So in order to hang the title belt, you have to score a pinfall to become eligible. And then if you get pinned, you have to go into the penalty box for 2 minutes. Which this was, this is kind of a confusing rule. Like even though it was kind of confusing, they made the best out of this match. The match was pretty cool, something different, for TNA to do. I think that Jeff Jarrett was like the founder of the King of the Ring matches. Yeah, he was. And they usually did this on every Slammiversary going forward, so I'm pretty sure they did this on 2006, maybe 07, and then they retired this match for a while. But it was pretty good. You had some high flying here. You had some guys working together. You had AJ Styles and Sean Waltman. They worked together for a while. You saw a X Factor off the top of the ladder by X-Pac hit the X Factor onto AJ Styles. He hit the 1, 2, 3 during the match. He came eligible. You saw Abyss. I think the first guy who became eligible was Monty Brown. He had like a big pounce right at the beginning of the match. He scored the 1, 2, 3. I think it might have been on... I'm trying to think here. I think it might have been on X-Pac or Sean Waltman, maybe. I just remember Monty Brown getting one of the first ones to score a pinfall, and then Abyss became the second one. I don't remember how he got his pinfall. And then AJ Styles got his because Sean Waltman and AJ Styles were kind of working together. And AJ Styles did a corkscrew plunge onto the outside of the ring through a table, and he pinned Abyss during the match, so he became eligible. And then we saw Raven become eligible. I don't remember how Raven became eligible, but at the end, Raven did end up getting the victory and becoming the new NWA World Heavyweight Champion, which was a really good match. This was probably one of the best King of the Mountain matches I have watched. Like, I haven't watched a whole lot, but this one has probably been one of the best ones I've watched so far. But yeah, that was TNA Slammiversary 2005. Overall, it was a pretty good show. Nothing too crazy with the show. You had a lot of like decent I mean, they were kind of a little bit mediocre undercard matches. I mean, you saw Team Canada quite a bit during the show. Who else did we see quite a bit during the show? We saw who else was it? It was Three Live Crew. We saw them. Saw appearance by them during the whole show, and we just saw them a lot. And also we saw each competitor for the King of the Mountain match. They kind of explained to why they're going to win the match. But yeah, it was a decent show. So I'm going to keep reviewing these Slammiversaries from here on forward. The next Slammiversary that I'm going to be reviewing is 2006, which I'm going to be doing it sometime later this week, but I don't know when. So stay tuned for that. And I'm also going to be doing some Extreme Rules reviews, so stay tuned for those. So yeah, we just got some good things coming on my channel. And go down in the comments, tell me, what you guys thought of this review. Tell me if you guys watched the show before, on the Impact Plus network. Go buy the network right now. Go buy it. It's not bad. It's pretty worth it. One thing I wish that they had on this network, this is kind of getting off topic now, but one thing I wish they had the pay-per-views live on here, so you didn't have to go on, actually pay for a pay-per-view, like $50 for the pay-per-view. I know they have done live shows on here before, like smaller shows, like not like a Slammiversary though, but eventually they do put the pay-per-view on here though. But like I said, I'm excited to watch more of these older Impact shows on here and review them for you guys. But this is just many Impact shows I'm going to be reviewing. But yeah, like I said, if this is your first time ever checking out one of my videos, please hit that subscribe button. That will really help me out a whole lot. And go follow me on all my social media platforms. Hit that like button and turn on that post notifications button. And this is your boy, Juggernaut, saying peace out. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. So, peace out.